Beneath the quiet, windswept hills of eastern Washington, a mystery lies buried. Not a mystery of myth or folklore, but one etched into the very landscape. A place that defies geology. A hole with no apparent bottom. For decades, it was a local legend, a campfire story too strange to be true. But this is not a story about the past. This is about what happened when modern technology was sent into that darkness. When a state-of-the-art drone finally pierced the veil. What it recorded didn't just challenge a local legend, it threatened to rewrite human history. And then, it vanished. This is the story of Mel's Hole. The world first learned of the anomaly in February 1997. A man named Mel Waters called into the late-night radio show Coast to Coast AM, a program known for its exploration of the paranormal and the unexplained. Mel's story was different. It was grounded, detailed, and deeply unsettling. On his rural property outside Ellensburg, Mel claimed was a hole unlike anything on Earth. He described it as a perfectly circular shaft, about 9 feet in diameter, lined with stone bricks to a depth of 15 feet, after which it opened into a chasm of pure blackness. His first attempt to measure it became the foundation of the legend. Using heavy-duty fishing line, he lowered a 1-pound lead weight into the abyss. He spooled out 1,000 feet, then 10,000, then 50,000. He claimed he eventually exhausted over 80,000 feet of line, nearly 15 miles, or 24 kilometers, and never felt it hit bottom. The anomalies didn't end with its depth. The area around the hole was a dead zone. Birds would divert their flight paths to avoid flying over it. Mel's own dogs would bark at an invisible perimeter, but refuse to cross it. Radios brought near the edge would dissolve into static, and fresh batteries would drain in minutes, as if the hole itself were a parasite feeding on energy. Older residents of Kittitas County came forward, corroborating parts of Mel's story. They said the hole had been there for generations, a local oddity known as the Devil's Hole. They told stories of it being used as an unofficial dump. Decades of garbage, old appliances even, one man swore, a full-sized refrigerator, were tossed in. Not once was a crash or clang ever heard. Only silence. As if the hole didn't just swallow objects, but erased them from existence. But perhaps the most unnerving detail was its official non-existence. Despite decades of local knowledge, there was no record of it. No mention in geological surveys, no coordinates on any map, no reference in state land records. Mel Waters himself seemed to be a ghost investigators could find no tax records or property deeds under his name. It was as if the story, the man, and the hole itself existed in a pocket reality, separate from our own. Faced with the impossible, Mel began his own crude experiments. His most disturbing test involved a deceased sheep from his flock. He lowered the carcass into the hole for several hours. When he retrieved it, the body was strangely warm to the touch. But inside the animal's chest cavity, Mel found a bizarre, tumor-like mass. He claimed he cut it open, and within it was a creature he described as a fetal seal with large, intelligent eyes that stared back at him before he sealed the hole for good. As the legend grew, a startling parallel emerged. Reports surfaced of a second hole, this time in the sun-baked desert of rural Nevada. The descriptions were eerily similar: immeasurable depth, electronic interference, and a strange aversion from local wildlife. But unlike Mel's hole, this one was not on private land. It was located near the heavily restricted airspace of Area 51. Leaked documents, their authenticity unconfirmed, hinted at classified military studies of subterranean geological anomalies in Nevada, referencing unexplained radiation bursts and high-frequency acoustic patterns emanating from deep within the Earth. One anonymous former military contractor, when asked about it in a rare interview, said only, "It's there. They know about it, and you will never get near it." Was Mel's hole just a freak anomaly? Or was it a clue, the first piece of a puzzle that spanned hundreds of miles and involved secrets the government would do anything to protect? The answer would come after Mel Waters fell silent. Following his radio appearances, Mel claimed he was targeted. He was allegedly detained by federal agents and given a stark choice: silence or dire consequences. He was offered a substantial monthly stipend to relocate to Australia and never speak of the hole again. After a few more cautious radio calls, Mel Waters vanished from public life. For 20 years, the hole faded back into legend. But a mystery this profound does not stay buried. In the spring of 2024, a secretly funded team of experts assembled with a single objective: to find Mel's hole and uncover its truth. Operating completely off the grid, Project Chimera was led by a trio of brilliant renegade scientists. Dr. Philip Erasmus, a reclusive geophysicist known for his controversial theories on deep Earth structures. Dr. Sarah Collin, a field archaeologist specializing in proto-civilizations, and Dr. Lambert Marius, an environmental scientist who investigated extreme ecological anomalies. Their team included drone engineers and former military recon specialists. Their funding was private, their mission was clandestine, and their key piece of technology was revolutionary. It was a custom-built subterranean drone, designed to withstand immense pressure and extreme electromagnetic interference. Equipped with high-resolution LiDAR, ground-penetrating sonar, and a reinforced fiber-optic tether, it was capable of exploring where nothing had gone before. Following coordinates pieced together from old forum posts and a whistleblower's cryptic note, they found it, hidden in a remote patch of woodland, exactly as Mel had described. Under the cover of night, the operation began. The drone descended 5,000 feet, 8,000. For the first 11,000 feet, the LiDAR showed a near-perfect vertical shaft. Then, at 11,320 feet, the impossible happened. The walls of the shaft vanished. The drone had breached a chamber of incomprehensible scale, a void so large its boundaries were beyond the reach of the drone's floodlights. As it navigated the space, the sonar and LiDAR began to paint a picture that left the team in stunned silence. These were not natural formations. They were ruins. Massive cyclopean pillars soared into the darkness. Carved arches, impossibly large, stood like gateways to nowhere. Grand staircases descended further into the abyss. It was a city, an ancient, dead metropolis, coated in a layer of dust that suggested it had been untouched for millennia. The surfaces were covered in intricate carvings. The team's archaeologist, Dr. Collin, was breathless. The symbols shared elements with Proto-Sumerian cuneiform and Mayan glyphs, yet they belonged to no known linguistic family. They were alien, yet hauntingly familiar. The drone drifted towards a central structure, a massive stone gateway carved with a complex spiral design. As it approached, the feed began to flicker. Then, total blackout. Every system failed simultaneously. The tether, rated to withstand thousands of pounds of force, went slack. The signal was gone. The drone, and the secrets it had just uncovered, were lost to the deep. The team never had a chance to process what they saw. Within hours, unmarked black SUVs converged on their remote base camp. Armed men in plain tactical gear, with no insignia, detained the entire team. No warrants were shown. No explanations were given. All equipment, hard drives, backups, personal phones, was confiscated under vague threats of violating national security. Dr. Erasmus's online presence, his university profile, his research papers, his social media, was systematically erased. It was as if he never existed. The other team members fell silent, their families refusing to speak. The only evidence that survived was a single blurry screenshot from the drone's final moments. It appeared on a fringe forum, posted anonymously, showing the towering pillars of the underground chamber. Within minutes, it was deleted. The user was banned. The thread was wiped. Official agencies deny any such operation took place. When questioned, they state simply, There is no such thing as Mel's hole. So what lies deep inside that hole? The remnant of a lost civilization that predates our own by eons. An entry point to the hollow earth of myth, or an outpost built by extraterrestrial visitors in our planet's deep past. The footage is gone. The witnesses are silent. The official narrative is a wall of denial. But the cover-up itself is an admission. You don't mobilize that kind of force to hide a fairy tale. You do it to bury a truth so profound it could shatter our understanding of the world. Someone knows what the drone discovered, and they have gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure that we do not. The questions remain, hanging in the darkness. Who built that city? And what else is down there, waiting in the silence? The truth is out there, but it remains in the dark, waiting for someone brave enough, or foolish enough, to look again.